Hi everyone, I'm Tanaaz from foreverconscious.com and this is your weekly energy forecast for the week of May 19th. I am coming to you this week from Thailand. I am on vacation in Phuket. I was gonna film inside, but I just put my 2-year-old down for her nap and I'm terrified of waking her up because she hasn't been napping too well since we've been here. So I'm outside. I apologize for the sounds because there will be birds and noises going by. I'll try my best to edit it out, but I appreciate putting up with it with the sounds because I have nowhere else to really film. So hopefully they are relaxing and can kind of transport you to your own vacation. But yeah, I'm having a wonderful time here, trying to relax as much as possible and just soak up the beautiful energy that Phuket has to offer. So we have a very big week happening in the cosmic skies. We have the Sagittarius full moon. This happens on May 23rd. And we also have on the 25th, one of the biggest cosmic events of the year. We have Jupiter moving into Gemini. So I'll talk both about these cosmic events, but essentially our week is going to feel like a week of completion, of endings, of something kind of wrapping up, a culmination feeling. And the reason for that is because we have the full moon, and full moons are a time of ending, a time of culmination, a time of completion and harvest, and also reward. And then we also have the start of this new Jupiter cycle, but also the end, right? We're ending this Jupiter in Taurus cycle that we've been working with for the last 12 months. And now we're moving into this new cycle. So before we can really embrace the new, we're working with the old. We're working with wrapping up and completing this cycle. And that full moon happening this week as well is just going to amplify that completion energy. So it's a good time to think about what you would really like to let go of, what no longer needs to hold space for you in your life. What do you want to bring an end to? And it doesn't necessarily have to be something negative. It could also be something positive. Like, for example, what I mean by that is, say there's something that a project that you've been working on, that you've been waiting for the right moment to kind of birth it and bring it out into the world, move it to the next chapter of its evolution. This is also a good week to do that. So it's a good time to release and end things, but it's also a good time to think about, what can I bring to its next chapter of its evolution, birthing something out into the world, an idea, a project, a vision, a dream, communication, communicating something. This is a good week to focus on that, to focus on this idea of completion, completing one element or one energy dynamic and moving into another higher, more evolved state of being. So that's something to think about as we move through this week. I really like this full moon. So it falls on May 23rd. It is in the sign of Sagittarius. When I'm looking at the energy behind this full moon, I feel like it is our reminder to seek joy and to seek adventure and to seek play. Sorry, mosquito. I'm getting mauled alive while I've been here, so I'm like, don't bite me. So we're moving. This full moon really has this beautiful energy of reminding us to be in our joy and to allow joy. And I was kind of thinking about this as I was writing the forecast. I think there's a lot of shame in making joy our intention. I think a lot of the time when we're on the spiritual path or we're trying to create our dream life, we tend to get caught up in the hard work. I have to work hard. I have to do this. I have to struggle. I have to dig deep into the shadows. And yes, while all of that is true and there's a lot of truth in that, I think sometimes we also forget that we are allowed to give space for joy, and that it doesn't always have to be hard work, and that really on one of its highest levels, joy is part of our purpose here. I think experiencing all emotions is part of our purpose, but joy is a big one. I think joy is a huge part of what we come here to remember, to experience, and to remember that feeling inside our body and what it feels like. So how can you, under the energy of this full moon, tap into joy and to also pay attention to any shame that you might be holding around feeling joy and allowing yourself to feel joyful and allowing yourself to do something only because it brings you joy and for no other reason. It's not hard work, it's not maybe purposeful, maybe it's not relevant, maybe it's even a little frivolous. But how can you release that shame and allow yourself to experience joy and to be okay with joy and having no other purpose around it? No other, like, I'm doing this because it's going to get me here. No, just in the present moment, focusing on joy. How can we access that present moment joy and be okay with it just living in the now, in the here and the now? So something to think about as we move through this full moon, allowing joy, releasing shame around joy, and not having everything be hard work, not having everything be, I got to dig through the shadows, I got to release all this trauma, I got to do all this healing, and that's hard work. Yes, that's true, but how can you create space to allow joy as well? I also think that this full moon is a wonderful time, again, to come back to this idea of how can I step up to this next level of evolution in my life. So every degree of the zodiac is attached to a symbol, and the symbol for this full moon is a child learning how to walk. And if you think of that, it is this incredible, daring, adventurous, stumbling moment when a child learns how to walk. And if you can think of that imagery, where perhaps in your own life do you feel like a child stumbling, learning how to walk? And how can you access the bravery and the confidence and the determination to get to that next level of your evolution? We all stumble, we all feel like a beginner, we all feel like we're not good at something, but when we pursue, when we stick with it, when we find our confidence, we can move into that next level of our evolution. So also something to think about under this beautiful full moon energy. And then moving on the 25th, on May 25th, we have Jupiter moving into Gemini. Jupiter moves every 12 months. So its energy, when it moves into a new part of the zodiac, really sets us up for the themes of the next 12 months. What are the themes happening over the next 12 months? Gemini is all about communication. It's all about self-expression and kind of writing and sharing our story. So if you have a story that needs to be written, if you have a story that wants to be expressed and shared, Jupiter in Gemini is really going to help with that. But on a deeper level too, it's helping us to perhaps rewrite some of the stories that we keep telling ourselves, those stories that we hold on to that perhaps are no longer serving us. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So it's going to help us to expand the stories of our lives and expand the story that we want for our present and for our future. So it really is a interesting energy dynamic. Jupiter does not love to be in Gemini. It's not the best placement. Gemini really wants to get curious and ask questions, whereas Jupiter's more like, let's just look at the bigger picture vision and not get down into the weeds, whereas Gemini energy really does want to focus on understanding and asking questions and being curious, whereas Jupiter's energy is a little bit more expansive than that. It doesn't really care about the little details. It wants to think bigger. So that push-pull energy dynamic might be something that we observe when Jupiter moves into Gemini. However, I do think overall it is a placement that's going to help us really to express ourselves better, to become better communicators, to maybe also develop a better relationship with technology and social media. Gemini rules over everything relating to communication, and Jupiter being the planet of expansion, that's what it's going to expand. So we'll probably see that happening in the world around us too, maybe new technologies or innovation when it comes to journalism, communication, social media, that kind of thing. All right, I'm going to end it there, but if you want to learn more about the full moon, I have a ritual as well as you can do a tarot card reading to go along with the full moon. You can find that at foreverconscious.com. I'll pop a link in the description box below. Also, if you want to learn more about Jupiter in Gemini, I have an article all about that too. So check that out at foreverconscious.com. And yeah, I would say it's a week for closure, endings, stepping up into a new evolution. So sit with that, see how it resonates with you, and I'll see you next week. I'm Tanaaz from foreverconscious.com. Thank you so much.